The millionaire could buy anything his daughters wanted, but not a single peaceful night of sleep. Then one poor maid did something no money ever could. Stay till the end and don't forget to like and subscribe to Inspiration Stories Box for stories that heal the heart. Every night at exactly 2:17 a.m., the same sound echoed through the marble halls of the mansion, the soft crying of two little girls. Isabella and Sophia, 8 and 6 years old, lay awake in their enormous beds, clutching their pillows, eyes wide open in the darkness. Nightmares haunted them, silence scared them, and sleep felt like an impossible dream. Their father, Victor Hale, was one of the wealthiest men in the city, a self-made millionaire who had conquered boardrooms and built an empire from nothing. But inside his grand house, he felt powerless. No matter how many doctors he hired, how many therapists visited, or how many lullaby machines were installed, nothing worked. Their mother had passed away a year ago after a sudden illness. Since then, nights had become unbearable. Victor often stood outside their bedroom doors, listening, guilt heavy in his chest. He had given them everything: luxury toys, private tutors, the best schools. But he couldn't give them what they missed the most: their mother's warmth, her voice, her gentle presence at bedtime. One evening, exhausted and desperate, Victor noticed the new maid quietly cleaning the hallway. Her name was Amina. She was thin, wore worn shoes, and kept her eyes lowered. She rarely spoke unless spoken to. She had taken the job only weeks earlier to support her sick mother back home. That night, the girls' crying grew louder than usual. Without thinking, Amina paused near their door. "Sir," she said softly to Victor, surprising herself as much as him, "may I try something?" Victor turned, startled. "What?" "I used to help children sleep in my village. I don't have medicine, just stories." Victor hesitated. Who was she to help when specialists had failed? But desperation overpowered pride. "5 minutes," he said quietly. Amina stepped inside the room. The girls stared at her nervously. She sat on the floor between their beds instead of towering over them. "I won't tell you to sleep," she whispered. "I'll just sit with you." She began telling a simple story, not from a book but from her heart, about a moon that watched over lonely children, about a mother star that never left the sky even when unseen. Her voice was calm, steady, familiar in a way Victor couldn't explain. Within minutes, the crying softened. Within 10, the room grew silent. Victor held his breath. For the first time in a year, his daughters fell asleep. Victor didn't sleep that night. He sat in the hallway, staring at the closed door, afraid that if he moved, the moment would shatter. At sunrise, he quietly opened the door. Isabella and Sophia were still asleep, faces peaceful, hands relaxed. Tears burned his eyes. That morning, the girls woke smiling. "Daddy," Sophia said, rubbing her eyes, "can Amina come back tonight?" Victor nodded, unable to speak. From that night on, Amina became part of their bedtime routine. She never replaced their mother, but she filled the silence with warmth. She sang softly, she listened, she held their hands when nightmares crept in. Victor began to notice other things. The girls laughed more, ate better, started drawing pictures again. In every drawing there was a small figure sitting between them at night. One evening, Victor finally asked Amina, "Why does this matter so much to you?" She hesitated, then answered quietly, "I lost my little sister when she was their age. She was afraid of the dark, too. I promised myself no child should sleep feeling alone." Victor felt something break inside him. Weeks later, he discovered Amina was secretly sending most of her salary back home for her mother's treatment, living with almost nothing, never asking for help. One afternoon, he called her into his office. "I want to increase your salary and arrange medical care for your mother." Amina's eyes filled with tears. "Sir, I didn't help your daughters for money." "I know," Victor replied softly. "That's why you deserve it." But the real surprise came months later. At a school event, Isabella stood on stage and said into the microphone, "My mommy lives in the sky, but Amina helps her reach us at night." The room went silent. Victor understood then this wasn't just kindness, it was healing. He funded a foundation for caregivers like Amina, gave her education, helped her mother recover, but most importantly, he gave her respect. Money didn't save his daughters, a poor maid's love did. If this story touched your heart, please like the video and subscribe to Inspiration Stories Box for stories that heal the heart.